Valve Corporation is an American video game development and digital distribution company headquartered in Bellevue, Washington, United States. Its European-based office opened in 2012 in Luxembourg. Founded in 1996 by former Microsoft employees Gabe Newell and Mike Harrington, Valve developed critically acclaimed video game series Half-Life, Portal, and Left 4 Dead. It has also developed and maintains the source engine for which most of its games run on, and the software distribution platform Steam, which has led to the Steam Machine, a line of pre-built gaming computers running SteamOS. History, founding and incorporation. Valve was founded by longtime Microsoft employees Gabe Newell and Mike Harrington on August 24, 1996 as an LLC based in Kirkland, Washington. After incorporation in April 2003, it moved from its original location to Bellevue, Washington, the same city in which their original publisher, Sierra Online, Incorporated, was based. Half-Life. After securing a license to the Quake engine in late 1996, Newell and Harrington began working on Half-Life. Originally planned for release in late 1997, Half-Life launched on November 19, 1998. Valve acquired TF Software Proprietary Limited, the makers of the Team Fortress mod for Quake, in May 1998 with the intent to create a standalone Team Fortress game. The Team Fortress Classic mod, essentially a port of the original Team Fortress mod for Quake, was released for Half-Life in 1999. Gearbox contributed much after the release of Half-Life. Gearbox Software is responsible for the Half-Life expansion packs, Half-Life, Opposing Force and Half-Life, Blue Shift, along with the home console versions of Half-Life for the Sega Dreamcast and Sony PlayStation 2, which included a third expansion pack called Half-Life, Decay, that enabled two-player split-screen co-op. Source Engine. After the success of Half-Life, the team led by Karen Wright worked on mods, spin-offs, and sequels, including Half-Life 2. All current Valve games are built on its Source Engine. The company has developed 6 game series: Half-Life, Team Fortress, Portal, Counter-Strike, Left 4 Dead and Day of Defeat. Valve is noted for its support of its games modding community, most prominently, Counter-Strike, Team Fortress, and Day of Defeat. Valve has branched out with this tradition to continue developing Dota 2 as the standalone sequel to the Warcraft 3 mod. Each of these games began as a third-party mod that Valve purchased and developed into a full game. They also distribute community mods on Steam. Acquisitions and awards. Since Valve Corporation's founding, it has expanded both in scope and commercial value. On January 10, 2008, Valve Corporation announced the acquisition of Turtle Rock Studios. On April 8, 2010, Valve won the Escapist magazine's March Mayhem tournament for the Best Developer of 2010, beating out Zynga in the semi-final and BioWare in the finale. In 2012, the company acquired Starfield Studios, a two-man gaming company, to open a San Francisco office. In August 2013, however, Valve ended the operation when it was decided that there was little benefit coming from the arrangement. Network intrusions. Valve's internal network has been infiltrated by hackers twice, once in 2003 where content of yet-to-be-released Half-Life 2 was leaked onto the Internet, and again in 2011 when the Steam customer databases and official forums were compromised. Legal disputes. Valve vs. Vivendi case. Between 2002 and 2005, Valve was involved in a complex legal showdown with its publisher, Vivendi Universal. It officially began on August 14, 2002, when Valve sued Sierra for copyright infringement, alleging that the publisher illegally distributed copies of their games to Internet cafes. They later added claims of breach of contract, accusing their publisher of withholding royalties and delaying the release of Counter-Strike, Condition Zero until after the holiday season. Vivendi fought back, saying that Gabe Newell and marketing director Doug Lombardi had misrepresented Valve's position in meetings with the publisher. Vivendi later counter-sued, claiming that Valve's Steam content distribution system attempted to circumvent their publishing agreement. Vivendi sought intellectual property rights to Half-Life and a ruling preventing Valve from using Steam to distribute Half-Life 2. On November 29, 2004, Judge Thomas S. Zille of U.S. Federal District Court in Seattle, Washington ruled in favor of Valve Corporation. Specifically, the ruling stated that Vivendi Universal and its affiliates were not authorized to distribute Valve games either directly or indirectly, through cybercafe copyright to end users for pay-to-play activities pursuant to the parties' current publishing agreement. In addition, Judge Zille ruled that Valve could recover copyright damages for infringements without regard to the publishing agreement's limitation of liability clause. Valve posted on the Steam website that the two companies had come to a settlement in court on April 29, 2005. Electronic Arts announced on July 18, 2005 they would be teaming up with Valve in a multi-year deal to distribute their games, replacing Vivendi Universal from then onwards. As a result of the trial, the arbitrator also awarded Valve $2,391,932. Valve Corporation vs. Activision Blizzard, Incorporated. In April 2009, Valve sued Activision Blizzard, which acquired Sierra Entertainment after a merger with its parent company, Vivendi Universal Games. Activision had allegedly refused to honor the Valve vs. Vivendi arbitration agreement. Activision had only paid Valve $1,967,796 of the $2,391,932 award, refusing to pay the remaining $424,136, claiming it had overpaid that sum in the past years. Blizzard Entertainment, Incorporated vs. Valve Corporation. Shortly after Valve filed its trademark for Dota to secure the franchising rights for Dota 2, .A All Stars, LLC, run by former contributors to the game's predecessor, Defense of the Ancients, filed an opposing trademark in August 2010. .A All Stars, LLC was sold to Blizzard Entertainment, the developer of .A's platform Warcraft 3 and its world editor, in 2011. After the opposition was overruled in Valve's favor, Blizzard itself filed an opposition against Valve in November 2011, citing their license agreement with developers, as well as their ownership of .A All Stars, LLC. On May 11, 2012, Blizzard and Valve announced that the dispute had been settled. Valve retained the rights to the term Dota commercially, while Blizzard reserved the right for fans to use the trademark non-commercially, and changed the name of their StarCraft II map, Blizzard DOTA, to Blizzard All Stars. Blizzard All Stars was adapted into a standalone game and renamed Heroes of the Storm on October 17, 2013. Games. Cancelled games. Incomplete games include A Fairy RPG, Prospero and Stars of Blood. It was also working with Arcan Studios on Return to Ravenholm and The Crossing. Other ongoing projects, Steam. Valve announced its games platform Steam in 2002. At the time it looked merely to be a method of streamlining the patch process common in online video games, but was later revealed as a replacement for much of the framework of the World Opponent Network service and also as a distribution digital rights management system for entire games. Valve has shown support for some of their games. For example, Valve has offered considerable updates for Team Fortress 2, including adding new maps, new game modes, additional weapons, new achievements, and additional gameplay mechanics, as well adding a store which sells in-game items. All such updates, with the exception of the aforementioned in-game items, are mandatory, and provided free of charge. As of July 2014, there are over 3,400 games available on Steam, and in January 2014 Valve announced that it had surpassed 75 million active user accounts. On August 1, 2012, Valve Corporation announced revisions to the Steam subscriber agreement to prohibit class action lawsuits by users against the service provider. Alongside these changes to the SSA, the company also declared publicly the incorporation of Valve SARL, a subsidiary based in Luxembourg. Valve set up a physical office in Luxembourg-Kirchberg. According to Valve's project manager Mike Dunkel, the location was chosen for e-commerce capabilities and infrastructure, talent acquisition, tax advantages and its central geographic locations. Most major partners are accessible with 50% within driving distance. Valve SARL is used to sell games to United Kingdom Euro-based users to avoid paying the full 20% VAT. The tax loophole is expected to be closed on January 1, 2015. Steam Machine. Newell has been critical of the direction that Microsoft has taken with the Windows operating system in making it a closed architecture similar to Apple's products, and has stated that he believes that with changes made in Windows 8 are a catastrophe for everyone in the PC space. Newell identified the open-source Linux platform as an ideal platform for Steam, noting that the only thing holding back its adoption is the lack of games. In 2012, Valve announced that they were working on a console PC hybrid for the living room, which was unofficially dubbed by media as the Steam Box. A precursor to such a unit is SteamOS, a freely available Linux-based operating system that builds upon the Steam client functionality that includes media services, live streaming across home networks, game sharing within families, and parental controls. SteamOS was officially announced in September 2013 as the first of several announcements related to the Steam Machine platform as well as their unique game controller. In early summer 2014, Valve announced that the company's own SteamOS-powered Steam Machine would be delayed until 2015 due to problems with the game controller. Pipeline. In July 2013, Valve officially announced Pipeline, an intern project consisting of 10 high school students working together to learn how to create video game content. Pipeline serves a dual purpose: to discuss and answer questions that teenagers often ask about the video game industry, to see if it is possible to train a group of teenagers with minimal work experience to work for a company like Valve. The latter purpose breaks Valve's tradition of employing experienced developers, as the company is not very good at teaching people straight out of school. J.J. Abrams Collaboration. At the 2013 DICE Summit, Gabe Newell confirmed that he and director J.J. Abrams were collaborating to produce a Half-Life or Portal film, as well as a possible new game. Organizational structure. Valve is run as a flat organization without bosses, and uses open allocation. Yanis Varoufakis, an economist working for Valve, has attempted to place Valve's organization in the context of theories of the firm and broader economic thinking. Former employee Jerry Ellsworth has, however, criticized this structure as a lot like high school, where while the structure is flat, certain people within the company still have more say in decisions than others. Valvetime. Valvetime is an industry term used jokingly with game releases from Valve, used to acknowledge the difference between the promised date for released content stated by Valve and to the actual release date. Valvetime includes predominant delays but also includes some content that was released earlier than expected. Valve itself has fully acknowledged the term, including tracking known discrepancies between ideal and actual releases on their public development wiki and using it in announcements about such delays. Valve ascribes their delays to their mentality of team-driven initiatives over corporate deadlines to make sure they provide a high-quality product to their customers. Valve's former business development chief Jason Holtman stated that the company sees themselves as an oddity in an industry that looks towards punctual delivery of products. Instead, Valve tries as hard as we can to make the best thing possible in the right time frame and get people content they want to consume. And if that takes longer, that's fine. For that, Valve takes the concept of Valvetime as a compliment, and that having customers consistently looking at our property or something you've done and saying, "Can you give me more?" is evidence that they are making the right decisions with their game releases, according to Holtman. The company does try to avoid unintentional delays of their projects, and believes that the earlier occurrences of Valvetime delays, primarily from Half-Life development, has helped them improve their release schedules. References. External links. Official website.